What's up, everybody? We are here on this casual Thursday. It is another hurricane day here for the lawyer you know. In the Tampa area in Florida, we got hit pretty good this morning by the hurricane. I think we got hit harder by this one than we did with Ian. And we had branches down, a ton of rain. We audibled to work from home. We didn't lose power or anything like that. It was pretty surprising how hard this one hit. I didn't prep nearly as much for last as we did for Ian. So, but everybody's good. Everybody's safe here. Reports back from everybody around. It's safe. It's good. So nothing to worry about. But that's why we're just hanging out in the man cave today. And it'll be a little more relaxed. I'm in the lazy boy. We're going to watch a YouTube video together, right? I mean, how meta is this? We're going to sit here on a YouTube channel, talk together and watch a YouTube video together, answer questions, discuss it, enjoy the comments and commentary on it. I do realize a very sad situation that nobody should ever be in. It is a horrible situation, but on the channel, we like to try to figure out what the truth is, what actually happened, what's appropriate, and whether or not someone's telling the truth, whether or not a jury is going to believe it, whether or not a prosecutor can prove this beyond a reasonable doubt, what arguments a defense attorney may make. That's really what the discussion is. So I appreciate you joining me for that discussion. I appreciate everything you all bring to the table. And I do appreciate all the support on the channel, all the love on the channel. Lisa is a new subscriber and here for her first live, which is awesome. We've gotten a lot of new subscribers on this Boone case. So if you are new for Boone, like we did with Brooks, like we did with Johnny Depp, like we've done with all these cases, just let me know that you found the channel through Sarah Boone. That's why you're here. That's why you're watching it. Steph Morris, Christmas tree too soon. Yes, this is our Christmas tree in here. There's no lights or ornaments on it yet. We're getting in. We're doing it slowly. We're decorating slowly, right? I know. And if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter here at Tragos Law, you already know about all that. And you already know about the Christmas decorations and stuff. So it's funny here. And we have a good time joking around about it over there on the other social media sites. We've got, I know, way too soon, brother. I hear you. Everybody had the opportunity to vote on our Instagram. And basically all of them said way too soon. Annette first live here. That's awesome. Tabby B is new for the Sarah Boone case. A lot of you saying your decorations are up as well. 40 Oz to Freedom is a new subscriber. So awesome. So I'm glad you guys are all here. And let's jump into it. We left off. They had just finished showing her some of the videos on her cell phone. And I think they're going to dig into that a little more. We'll watch another 30 or 40 minutes together. I will stop to answer questions. I will stop with my comments as always. If you were here just to watch the interrogation all the way through, you're probably not going to like this very much because there will be pauses. So hit that like button if you do like when we pause and talk about what's going on in the actual video that we're watching. I appreciate all of you. Hit that like button so whoever wants to come in, join this conversation will know that it's happening right now. And let's get to it. How about that? And I'm on my own here, so I'm doing my best with comments, questions, everything to follow along and get as much of it as we can. Let's make sure we are. All right, here we go. Two videos and a video and taking a photo. Just kidding. It's on 2x speed because you know that's how I do things. All right, we're putting it back to normal speed.
So they are intoxicated.
Okay. I understand where you all are coming from.
Well, we're just trying to make sense of it. We're trying to figure out what you're saying.
We're trying to figure out this video.
You explain it to us. We're listening.
I just did. Like, we were playing, and then, like, I thought it was... My plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep. My plan was not to... He'll be up here any minute.
But you willingly went upstairs and went to sleep. No one forced you to go upstairs and get
My
ready
plan
for
wasn't
bed.
also to leave him in the...
So one thing that officers do is you willingly went upstairs to go to sleep. No one forced you to, right? If she does not deny that, it's just like we talked about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. If she does not deny that, then that could be taken potentially as an admission. You willingly went upstairs. She didn't say, no, I didn't. She didn't say anybody forced her to. So that could potentially be used as an admission, which is why she might as well take the stand and testify at this point, because they have hours of her talking. Hours, literal hours.
The suitcase.
So why didn't you take him out?
Because I went upstairs and then I fell asleep.
But why didn't you consciously think he's asking to come out?
I didn't do it intentionally.
What do you think is gonna happen if you leave somebody
She just spouted out, I didn't do it intentionally. Because now she's starting to see where it's going.
in a confined space like that?
Well, I thought by not giving it up all the way, it would be okay. My plan was not to leave him in the
And what was
suitcase,
your plan?
waiting for him to come upstairs.
And then when he did it?
So by saying her plan was not to leave him in the suitcase, that kind of infers she has a plan, right? So if she has a plan, they ask, what was your plan? Her plan was to wait for him to come upstairs. So what was he playing by himself now in the suitcase, playing hide and seek where they both knew where he was? It doesn't make any sense.
I fell asleep.
You said you were up there 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, somebody not coming up.
Knowing that the last time you saw him was in the suitcase, 30 minutes later, you're like, maybe I should go check on him. Maybe I shouldn't.
No.
Well, that didn't cross your mind because it didn't happen.
That's like an assumption. Like, that's what you all are thinking. Just,
We're asking.
it's the
You
whole,
tell us.
it's the drinking. That's what it is. It's the drinking.
So wait, now it's the drinking. Now it's the drinking. Before, she didn't drink that much. He was the drunk. But now we're getting to it's the drinking. And Tabby Lynn is a new member. And yes, if you want to join the membership, there is that option. It is in the video description. You can hit join. We do some members only chats. We do some members only voting polls and stuff on the YouTube community page. So I appreciate that. Can you turn closed caption on? Let me see. So I just click that. Yeah, sure. Closed caption is now on. Allison? All right. So yes, thank you to all the new members. We've got something fun planned in the future here. Not too distant future for the holidays. We got some fun holiday videos planned.
I thought it was like, I thought he was okay. Like, I didn't,
He's telling you he's not. He's telling you, Sarah, I can't breathe. He's saying your name and you're like, that's my name, don't wear it out.
Guys, that's how we are with each other. Like, nobody understands our relationship.
Nobody understands our relationship. That is such a common theme when people are trying to talk their way out of something that they know does not make sense. When you have to say nobody understands us or nobody understands our relationship or whatever that may mean, that means I know this makes absolutely no sense. Because if it made sense, you'd be able to understand it. Southern Mama said, hey man, did you see the car chase I emailed you last night? Insane. It was Orange County. I heard about the story. I did not see the whole thing, but I heard about it and it absolutely seemed insane. Patricia Hovland-Stott. Does it change anything if it's not intentional? So the very first video we did on this, we talked about whether it was intentional, first degree murder, depraved heart, second degree murder, or a negligent homicide. And I think if she can really push that this was totally unintentional, totally an accident, then she may be able to get a lesser included like a negligent homicide. But what she's charged with and what they're going to trial on is second degree depraved heart murder, which has some, while it's not, you didn't plan to kill them, you did intend to do these bad acts that did not care about his human life.
The whole suitcase thing never happened before.
Would you leave
If the jury believes she got drunk and fell asleep upstairs, it's not a second degree murder usually.
someone else in a suitcase? Would you leave Lucas in a suitcase jokingly? Because it was a joking matter. You put him in there jokingly. Would you leave Lucas jokingly in there? And you love Lucas, right? And you love
I wouldn't
George.
do that to him either. I wouldn't do that to him.
So I just.
Well, it's not like, again, I don't think you all understand. Like, that was not my intention.
Well,
Y'all don't have any idea what
by
I've
your
done
acts,
for
though,
him.
But by your acts, and that's exactly right. you get to the point where you've done so much for somebody and they don't show you any appreciation.
He did.
See, they're just literally, now they're going, they've let her tell her stories for 40 minutes. And now they're going to just blow her stories up. They're going to poke so many holes in her story that she's going to understand how it makes no sense.
Not by your words in the video. I don't get that.
He did.
Because you bring up the fact that when he's choking you, you can't breathe. That's how you felt when he cheated on you. You couldn't breathe. And you verbally several times told him just fuck you.
Well, you said it in the video, but you won't let us play the rest of it. You don't want to.
When I say cheating, it's on his phone.
Okay. Cheating is cheating.
I think so too.
Exactly.
It's your definition of cheating, though. So, I mean, that's what the word cheat means.
And that's what you told him in the video. That I couldn't breathe when you cheated on me.
No.
That's how I felt when he said, Sarah, I can't breathe. And you told him,
I don't know what you. This is.
What would you say if somebody told you that they had done this?
Done what?
Zipped somebody in a suitcase and went up and went to bed.
Do you all?
Yeah, he's like, okay, let's pretend like you're a cop for a second, and somebody comes in here and says they zipped somebody up in a suitcase, went upstairs, went to bed, and they end up dead. What would you think then? Because you don't understand our relationship is not a good enough explanation.
So you all think that it's like, oh, good, I got him in there, now I'm going to go to sleep? Is that what you guys are trying to assume? Or trying to, like...
The video is very portraying of the opposite of what you told us. No. It does not...
Which, ding, 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 that's why they ask you all those questions and let you talk so much before showing you the video evidence that they have.
It is not leading up, it is not matching what statement you gave us in the car. So, and that's why we want to know. And I don't remember doing those. The injuries are not consistent with what you told us. So we have a lot of inconsistencies, and this video explains itself. It really, truly does.
You don't think that I have thought about that?
Thought about the video or thought about...
But no, again, if you don't mind, please. So you all are assuming that it's like, oh, good, I got him in there, now I'm going to go to sleep? Is that what you all are assuming?
Well, it's not an assumption when that's what you told us that happened.
That's what happened.
And the video... Yeah, I mean...
So here's a good question. When she says that's how I feel when he's choking her, motive. So I don't think it's motive for a first-degree intentional homicide. Some of you are saying you think it is first-degree intentional homicide, which is fair, and we can agree to disagree. But I do think that, Cece, this does show kind of motive of the depraved heart and why it is more than just negligence and why she is culpable in her feelings and her actions, because she did literally leave him down there when he was telling her that he couldn't breathe, go upstairs, go to sleep after sitting there for 30 minutes, realizing he was not getting out of that suitcase.
I'm not going to say...
You thought he could get out on his own. But the video shows that he cannot get out on his own. But
when I unzipped it with one finger.
From the outside.
But it had the hole in it.
So you can picture what she's saying. So no, this is not going to be a death penalty case in Florida, not for second-degree murder. She's saying she zipped it all the way up except left just a little hole for a finger. And when she ended up unzipping it, she put her one finger in there and unzipped the whole suitcase with one finger. So she is saying that he, by this explanation, could have easily unzipped the suitcase himself and chose not to. That's basically what she's trying to explain now. And again, these are facts that nobody can corroborate, because none of us saw the suitcase once it was zipped up. Law enforcement did not go in there and unzip it. She unzipped it. However, from the video, it does not look like it would be easily unzippable, especially when it was flipped over. And maybe that's really the key point, is when it was the small, just the flap on top zipped, he could have unzipped it. But once he was flipped over and out of sorts, and now the zipper is underneath, and the flap part is underneath, and the bigger part of the suitcase is on top, now maybe he can't unzip himself.
And you're claiming that it had a paper clip, so that's what assisted you in doing it.
No.
What you told us.
When I had my sweatshirt, I said I thought it had a paper clip on it. But
the zipper part is broken.
Yes, which is why we were going to send it.
Yeah.
I just,
You were able to unzip it from the outside very easily, because that's the way they're designed.
but you could on the inside too. I don't know how.
Well, why wouldn't he have gotten himself out if he could? He was
I don't
asking-
know,
he was
like, I don't
begging,
know if you
asking.
saw, like, where the hole was. I don't
I
know.
didn't see a hole.
No
I
one
didn't
sees
see
the
no
hole.
fingers
You're the
sticking
only
out.
one that's what I'm saying. Like, he's in one position, and where his head would be, we should be able to see fingers. And then when it's flipped over onto this right side, again, his head is closer to us facing the video, so we should be able to see fingers, and we don't see anything. We see no movement of him trying to unzip it or physically unzipping it. All we see is pushing up.
So one of the things that's really interesting as well, just because a lot of you have watched some of these trials, right? And we've seen some of these interrogations, and we can really see how certain questions can really hit hard. And a lot of this is inadmissible or improper to ask in court this way. So there's just a very different form and training of how you question somebody in an interrogation as a cop, especially after they waive their rights and they're chomping at the bit when somebody's trying to explain their way out of it. It's just a very different form of questioning, which I think is always interesting. Alita, yes. She said earlier that she flipped him over. And again, did not give a very good reason why. Like, nothing that she's really doing is giving a good reason for anything, but she's saying a lot of things. She's spouting a lot of facts, a lot of which can be disproven, which is bad for her.
Trying to push out of it.
Please do not assume.
I'm not assuming. I haven't assumed anything. I follow evidence.
But my intention was not, again, oh, good, I got him in there. Now I'm just going to go to sleep.
What do you think someone that knows nothing about this or hears just a little bit, like, oh, they were playing around in a suitcase
She's been drinking
and then watches
probably
that
went
video.
to sleep. That's what happened.
But you let him out before. I mean, you put him in, so why didn't you take him out?
Because I was upstairs and I fell asleep.
No, before you went upstairs. You, like, consciously had to walk upstairs. You obviously remember going to bed because you were able to give me a time frame on that. And you specifically told me that you went upstairs.
My intention is not for this to happen. I am sick about it. I've never done anything like this before in the past. I am sick.
So now this video, in this section that we're watching, section 2 today, she has given all sorts of reasons now why she still shouldn't get in trouble for what she did. It was unintentional. She's never done anything like this before. You don't know everything that she has done for him, right? Those are all things that she said in just the first 10 minutes of this video.
Especially with that. I thought I couldn't sleep last night. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. You tell us the last night, you vividly remember this when you told us last night that he was laughing, you were laughing, you put him in the suitcase, he has 2 fingers sticking out, and you go to bed. Now we see something totally different, and it actually shows you upset and, again, using derogatory terms to him when he's begging for his life to get out of that suitcase. So what,
but my thing
you
is
say we're assuming, we're not assuming,
but
we're
the
telling
fingers,
you it's on there.
so it just happened to be that whenever I was videotaping or doing whatever else it was, just happened to not have that in it.
Okay. And you also, in the video, you can't see any holes. There's no...
Lita, you better believe that suitcase is going to come out trial. Because I think the size of any suitcase, I don't think he was a very large guy, but you can't just like get into a suitcase easily and zip yourself up. I don't think. Not any of my suitcases, I'll just say. So I think the size and what that suitcase looks like is going to show that he had to have help getting in there and getting zipped up. And I wouldn't be surprised if you've got a dramatic prosecutor that they try to get in that suitcase themselves and show how impossible it is to zip that thing up during closing argument. So I absolutely think that's going to be part of the trial. Leilani, say there was a hole at the end of the zipper for his finger. Doesn't mean he could position his finger to get out. Exactly. And that's the point. If you've got to get in a suitcase and you got to put your arm here, whatever, you can't just be like, oh, okay, I'm going to unzip this suitcase now and get out. Right? A lot of these are going to be questions for the jury. And you guys are already coming up with a lot of them.
where the zipper separates and you can see a hole. If there's a hole, he's pushing on it, begging you to get out. We should probably see that hole.
He essentially would have been able to get out.
Yeah.
Alcohol.
Based off what you're telling us, he should have been able to get out.
Okay.
But the video shows him attempting to get out, begging to get out, and he can't. So that's just what we're trying to figure out. I don't know if maybe you had too much to drink, you zipped it up all the way, and then,
I did not zip it up all the way.
She did not zip it up all the way. Then who did? Did he finish it? Steph Morris is asking, so I missed it. How did he get in the suitcase? They were playing adult hide and seek, which they did from time to time. They thought it would be funny and they were laughing. He got in the suitcase. She helped him get in the suitcase and helped him zip it up, but not all the way. But I don't know how she's possibly how he's hiding from her if she already knows where he is, right? We did a lot of this in the last video in part 1 of the interrogation when they talked about that. But they were playing hide and seek. She put him in there and then she flipped it over. So the suitcase was upside down. And there's a video, if you go back 2 videos, where he's literally begging her to let him out because he can't breathe. Cat Chi Healer, do you take cases in other counties in Florida? So I'll take a quick second here. Thanks for the question, Kat. A lot of you that are new, just jumping in for the Sarah Boone trial and case that we're breaking down. I am a real full-time practicing lawyer in Clearwater, Florida, in the Tampa Bay area. We do mostly personal injury. We're civil trial lawyers, catastrophic injury, wrongful death, car accident, slip and falls, you name it. We try cases. We've tried, I think, 4 or 5 cases as a firm this year. We have 5 lawyers. We also do criminal defense. My dad's a big criminal defense lawyer, was a chief assistant of the criminal division, federal prosecutor. But we run a full-time firm. I don't do YouTube full-time or anything like that. I do it as a hobby for fun. I learn a lot. It helps me in trying cases. Sorry for taking this. If anybody's annoyed at this, sorry. I'm going as quick as I can to answer Kat's question and saying, yes, we absolutely take cases all over Florida. We even take some around the United States, depending on the case. But if you have an injury case in another county in Florida, please reach out to me, lawyeryouknow@gmail.com. But yes, let me know what your question is. I would love to talk to you about it. Reach out to me. Our website is tragoslaw.com. If you guys want to look us up, we're real lawyers, leaders in our community. We help write the rules in Florida. So check us out. And actually, this weekend, we're going to have some fun. I'm going to be out of town in Miami for the Florida Justice Association mock trial competition that I'm putting on. I'm a chair of for the law students in Florida. So, okay, let's get back to the video. Sorry for that interruption. Thank you, Kat. Please reach out.
I did not zip it up all the way. This is horrific, okay? Horrific.
it is terrible.
Yeah, so
Horrific. I don't think I'll ever be right because of this. Ever be right. Dealing with everything else that I have in my life, personally. And then this, whom I loved, it was not intentional. I will put my hand on the Bible. It was not intentional.
Next, she's going to say she'll take a lie detector test, which is not admissible in court. These law enforcement officers do not, that doesn't move them at all to say you'll put your hand on the Bible.
I would not do that to him nor anyone else.
But you did.
Well,
Not
it's true.
Intentional.
You intentionally went up to bed.
I didn't intentionally go to bed because I'm thinking, okay, good, he can get out.
How did you not intentionally go to bed? You said you went upstairs and got into bed. That's intentionally going to bed.
Waiting for him.
And he doesn't come, but you don't go down to check on him.
So I happen to go to sleep. When I say go to sleep,
and what do you normally do when you go to bed?
Do.
What do you normally do when you go to bed?
What do you mean?
What is a bed for? Going to sleep.
Right.
So you go to bed to do.
Well, but you, and I'm sorry, I'm going to be sarcastic. I'm sorry. Well, officer, you don't understand our bed. You don't understand our bed. Our bed, you actually go up there because you want to do X, Y, and Z. That's what you do in our bed. It's not go to sleep. That's what she's trying to do. She's trying to, and we saw that, we have seen this with other witnesses in trials, other defendants in trials, where they will look you straight in the eye and say, I am holding up 7 fingers. It's 7 fingers. You just don't get it. And we're all looking like, it's 3 fingers. We can all count. We can all see it's 3 fingers. But that's what she continuously tries to do here.
I can tell too that, like, I've been drinking also.
What? Okay. You kept telling us, hey, I wasn't intoxicated, I wasn't this, I wasn't that.
Being drunk and intoxicated, which, yes, you could tell that I had been drinking, but.
Okay. So if you weren't intoxicated, then.
Yeah, she thought to say that she wasn't intoxicated was going to be a good thing for her. Again, this is when she was puffing herself up, straight A student. I helped him through all these problems. He is the drunk. He is the abusive one. I'm great. I never drink. I don't want to get drunk. The cops are like, good, keep saying it, keep saying it. So you weren't drunk. Nobody forced you to do anything. You remember all of this. It wasn't fuzzy. They know exactly where this is going because they've done this a time or two. She doesn't realize that. She doesn't realize what she's walking into. Azam, Peter, if the lie detector test is not admissible, why do they do that like Chris Watts? So some law enforcement officers, some state attorney's office will use it as something that can help with if you're going to make a deal, if you're going to come to some kind of agreement or some kind of plea deal. They do that, but they're not admissible in court, meaning you can't put it to a jury and tell the jury that I passed this lie detector test. Mindy, yes, I will be covering the Darrell Brooks sentencing. Absolutely, next week we're going to spend some time with Darrell Brooks.
Why would you ever leave somebody in a suitcase that's begging to get out, that's telling you they can't breathe?
If I hadn't been drinking, you still think it would be the same thing? Where it's like, hop in, I'm going to go to sleep. Is that what you...
No, we don't think that, and that's the point. That's why we all thought you were drunk to do this, but you're just swearing up and down that you were not drunk, and that's the hard part. John O'Rourke, what's up, buddy? Did the suitcase have rollers? I imagine it's a struggle for any female to lift and throw 180 pounds or so. Just a distant thought. I agree with you. There's some things that just don't make sense here, which is why somebody said she kicked him or pushed him down the stairs. I think that's possible, not picked up and through. I believe the suitcase did have rollers. I'm trying to remember back to that first video, but that first video we did have the actual suitcase in it.
You all are trying to do to portray me as?
We're not trying to do anything. I'm simply asking you to explain to me what happened.
Everything was fine and dandy.
Everything fine and dandy.
Was fine and dandy.
Explain
you all don't. Okay, for me to tell you this again. Mind you, I've been without him for a day now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Did this cop just start playing? She just started playing the video on the side while Sarah's just trying to explain something. She's playing the video of him literally gasping for his last breath to show her how ruthless this was, what she did to him. Everything was not fine and dandy. Yeah. You're trying to portray me as. It's like, no, we're not trying to do anything. We're literally just repeating back what you're saying. That's what we're doing here. CC Walters, do you think this will ever get to a jury or plead it out? It seems like it's getting to a jury. It was supposed to go to trial. Was it this week? I think it was supposed to go to trial this week, actually. Got continued to January of 2023, so still very soon. And it seems like everything's pointing towards a trial. I don't think they're going to let her off, and I don't think she's going to plead to any murder charges. I think she would plead potentially to a negligent homicide, some kind of manslaughter. I think she actually would plead to that. I could be wrong, of course, but based on what she's saying, she knows that her actions led to his death. So even if it was an accident, she still would be culpable of that. But I don't think she's going to plead to any intentional or even second-degree murder, and I think that's what they want. Mary B. Peter, do you ever let clients take a lie detector? I have never found it to be necessary, personally. But 99% of my cases are injury cases now. So they're injured victims, and usually the medical records and everything throughout, and the doctors can tell if they're lying and they're saying, oh yeah, this hurts. And it's like, well, this doesn't match up at all with your radiology, or they're faking it or whatever. And we don't take those cases, or we cut those cases.
No, I mean, I don't know what you all want me to tell you, because this was not in any way, shape, or form, hand on the Bible, intentional.
Okay. So you just left
I didn't kill him.
You left him there to teach him a lesson?
I didn't mean to leave him there.
That actually was a good question. You left him there to teach him a lesson, because based on the videos on her phone, it did sound like she was trying to teach him a lesson, and that struck a chord with her. Sydney, glad you made it. Thank you.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You got up and walked away. How is that not intentionally leaving him there?
Because I'm looking at the hole, knowing that it's there. he'll get out no problem. Because you don't.
And then he doesn't, but you don't go check on him. You say you're up for 30 minutes and he doesn't come up. You don't go down and check on him?
I'm in the bed.
You even move,
and off.
You admit to moving the suitcase, like, over. So
You roll it.
You roll it out, like, it's not like.
I didn't want it to be like that. Don't.
You didn't want him to be upside down? How do you even get upside down?
Right. You guys are killing me right now.
I just want you to hear.
That's how he talks to me most of the time.
Savage move by this detective to just literally start playing it as Sarah's crumbling here, trying to grasp at straws to prove that she didn't actually intend to kill him. Savage move by her.
I don't know how you want me to say it.
I'm just trying to figure out what you would expect to happen to somebody when you leave them in a suitcase.
I didn't mean to leave him in.
He's trying to really go down step by step. I like how he's doing this with intent. He's taking out all other intention. He's like, you intended to get up, right? You intended to go to bed. Oh, you didn't intend to go to bed? What do you do in your bed? You intended to leave him there. You did not open the suitcase. He should ask her, you could have opened the suitcase, right? You could have, but you intentionally did not open the suitcase. Well, I thought he was going to open it. That's fine. You thought he was going to open it, but you chose not to open it. I like how he's going down these steps, and I think he should continue that. Southern Mama, hi, Peter and Mom's friends. This boot is annoying. Thanks for the shout-outs, Logan. Now you'll get used to it. Firefly, can't a judge say enough lawyers? This is the last get ready for trial period. Judges can, especially in Florida, and I've seen it happen, can not allow a lawyer to withdraw or not allow a client to fire a lawyer if it's done to delay. But you get in really fishy situations because you don't want to create issues for appeal, as we talked about a ton in the Darrell Brooks trial. So you got to be careful with that. But yes, Firefly, legally speaking, a lawyer can say, nope, you cannot bounce from this case. You're stuck here.
And there.
Okay.
What's your reasoning for not calling 911 sooner?
Because I didn't know what to do and how horrific it was. I called Ryan, and 5 minutes later, I called you guys? Not even 5 minutes. Nonetheless, that I had to I was trying to do CPR. I had to get him out and try to do CPR and then called you guys. And then was continually doing CPR with the dispatch on the phone where he had me count out loud to help me focus on what I was doing.
It just, I don't know how, I mean, you can sit here all day long and say, I thought he was going to get himself out, but he didn't. And you went upstairs and you stayed there for 30 minutes before you fell asleep.
But can I say too,
you chose not to ever at any point during that 30 minutes walk back down and check on him.
No, wait 1 second. Because I know, with you all, and then, because you continually ask me, time frames, where I told you, I don't bother even looking at the clock most of the time. So it's a guesstimate. So for all I know, maybe it was 10 minutes.
Okay. But the point is, you left the living room where he was begging for help and went upstairs. Regardless of how long you were there, you left. You say,
I thought he was the boy calling wolf. Again.
Okay.
So when he asked to be let out, what's your reasoning for not letting him out?
When I was upstairs?
No, when he's asking on the video, he asked multiple times. He asked to be let out. I can't breathe. Why didn't you let him out?
Well, number one, I had no idea it was going to end like that.
Okay.
Number one.
Okay.
Number two,
she didn't know it was going to end like that. Okay, so how did you expect it to end if you left him in the suitcase? That should be the follow-up question. How did you expect it to end if you were going to go upstairs and go to sleep and he was still in the suitcase? And I think her answer would be, I thought he would get out of the suitcase himself.
You know what? I'll give you 5 minutes or so in there. I'll give you 5 minutes or so.
5 minutes for what?
Well, based off the video.
As punishment is what it sounded like, right? I'll give you 5 minutes. You deserve 5 minutes in the suitcase. 5 minutes in there. Like it's like a solitary confinement or something.
One video is at 11:12 and the next one's at 11:23. So you actually gave him at least 11 minutes.
Wow.
Recording. So my thing is, when it stopped, he asked multiple times. I mean, why? Why did you not let him out? It's just a simple question.
To be honest with you, I mean,
Were you punishing him?
no.
That's what it sounded like.
Well, that's what you're saying in the video.
And that's what you kind of just said.
This is what you got. This is what you make me feel like.
See, and then it's all backfired on me. Like, it's all backfired on me. And I understand the severity of this.
You did it.
It's awful, I know.
Okay.
It's awful. And I will tell you both this right now, too. I will never drink alcohol again.
Okay.
Like, I will never drink alcohol again. I don't care what it is.
Here we go. Now she's making deals. All right, listen, if I can just get off on this one, I'll never drink alcohol again. I'll never do this again. I'll never do this to my boyfriend again. That's what she's trying to do. And again, this is like prototypical when a criminal defendant feels like they have done something wrong and they're getting backed in a corner.
In any way, shape, or form.
But let's get back to this. What was the reason for leaving him when he's begging to be let out? I don't understand that.
What I have a feeling like.
And in case anybody's wondering, like, hey, innocent until proven guilty, presumption of innocence, I agree with all of that. What I'm saying is she is admitting to doing a lot of this right here in her own words. And that's what we're talking about. Now, what crime she is guilty of, if any, we haven't gotten there yet. But what she did was deplorable, leaving her boyfriend in that suitcase as he begged her to let her out. That's what we're condemning is those actions, right? We're not saying she's guilty of something. Now, when I say we're not saying that, I'm saying you guys are all saying, and we're all talking about what crime we think it would fit based on the facts. But this case has not been tried yet. So we're discussing it before the trial based on literally her own words.
And again, it's the whole time frame thing.
I'm not asking a time frame. I don't care about a time frame. He's in the bag saying, my God. And you say, fuck you.
For the whole few minutes that he was in there,
minimum 11, but yes, go ahead. It's a few. 11, minimum.
For the one video.
Well, in between the two videos.
Between the two videos? Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the question again?
When he's begging for his life, telling you he can't breathe, let me out, and you say, fuck you, why don't you just let him out? What are you trying to prove to him?
Yeah.
There was obviously something in your head that you were thinking of when he was asking to be let out, and you're like,
again, it's the boy calling wolf.
Okay, but where
the boy calling wolf usually entails, right? You guys tell me if I'm wrong, if I don't remember the story right, because I'm not good at these one-liners in some of these stories, but the boy crying wolf, he does the same thing over and over again, and he's lying about the outcome. The boy who cried wolf doesn't say I can't breathe when I'm trapped in a suitcase that I've never been trapped in before, right? That's not how the boy who cried wolf goes, unless I'm mistaken, of course. Cece, she was paying him back for all the things he did to her. They don't serve alcohol in jail? Not usually. Chelsea K, I'm a BI adjuster, bodily injury adjuster, for an insurance company. Maybe one day we'll have a mutual claim. I would love nothing more than for us to talk YouTube, lawyer, Daryl Brooks, Sarah Boone, while we're also discussing one of our cases. That would be very, very enjoyable, Chelsea. So please let me know if the Tragos law firm ever comes across your desk.
Where does this game end? You say this is a game. You got
obviously the wrong way.
So what was your intention for leaving him in there?
And it's not fair. It is not fair. You guys are trying to, again, he's in there. Night, night.
That's what happened.
That's
absolutely what happened.
Intentionally.
How's it not? You got up off the couch, walked up the flight of stairs, and got in your bed.
Thinking he was going to get out.
And he didn't. And you still didn't go down and check
on him. And it's the whole 30-minute thing that you guys are trying to do. Whatever. It's for all I know, it's 10 minutes.
He's begging for his life, telling you he can't breathe.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. I don't. I didn't intentionally mean for this to happen.
But you can't tell us why you left him in there and went upstairs. That's my only issue. Like, what am I supposed to write? What do I write?
So my thing is, though, it's what I have a feeling is I went upstairs and just hit the bed kind of thing. But again, I'm thinking he'll be up here in a minute. But then I go out.
But my question is, why didn't you just let him out prior to going up?
I don't know why.
He's begging to be let out. He's not allowed.
And we all know why, or at least we can all come up with a motive based on what she's already said and talked about their relationship and what she says in the video, what you do to me when you choke me, when you do this stuff.
Laughing, he's not having fun. This,
Guys,
you said
I don't
this
know.
was supposed to be fun. You were laughing before. Before you said he was laughing, you were laughing, you went upstairs, he had his fingers out of the bag and he was playing. Well, obviously that's not the case.
So are you guys, so what is it you're trying to, like?
We're just trying to figure out why.
Why? What?
Why?
What was the motivation for leaving him in the bag?
Why he was left in the bag? Why the video?
I didn't have any motivation. It was me, he and I having a great day, fooling around and being stupid, and apparently me going upstairs and hitting the bed, not going to sleep, where it's like, I'm tired now, I'm gonna go to sleep.
That's excluding, that's a good analogy for the day, excluding the fact that he's got a bump on the back of his head, a bump on the front of his head, and his lip is busted, and he has a bump on his eye. I mean,
I don't know what you all want me to tell you. Like, this is not fair at all,
yes.
that you all are assuming that that's from me.
Where else did it come
If
from?
you were, say it's opposite, you were in the suitcase and you're asking to be let out, would you hope that that person would let you out? Like, you're asking to be let out of a suitcase, should they not let you out?
Eventually, I'm guessing. I mean, I'm blaming it on the wine.
Blaming it on the wine.
So you guys are like assuming that.
You keep saying,
She's made her decision right there. She's made her decision. I'm blaming it on the wine. And somebody else said, blame it on the alcohol. And that's literally what she has decided to do. So after she tried to go round and round and round, she finally comes to the point of realizing what we've all been saying from the beginning. The only way this makes any sense as being unintentional is blame it on the wine. I was drunk. I didn't figure it out, whatever it may be. That's the only argument you have, Sarah. You're not going to come in here and convince these cops that you're a good girl, he's a bad guy, therefore just kind of let this go as a, freak accident because you were playing a game. And I think she has finally figured it out. But yeah, she has already said multiple times, I was not drunk. I was not intoxicated. I don't get drunk.
and we're assuming, we haven't assumed anything.
But you guys are assuming that that's what I did.
No, by what,
Like,
the facts of what happened. We got there, you said you pulled him out of a suitcase, you said you went to bed.
Rainey, she's talking to the police because she thought she could explain her way out of this.
We're not assuming that. These are the facts that you're telling us.
But
now
when
exactly.
it's like, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I'm tired.
Well, that's what you told me on a sworn recorded statement yesterday. Because when I said, oh, you went upstairs and passed out, you were like, no, I did not pass out. You got attitude with me because you were thought I was assuming that you were drunk. So that's an assumption. That was an assumption when I said you passed out. And guess what? You corrected me.
You were very adamant about the fact that both of you had your wits about you. What's your favorite word to use?
Compass mentis.
Oh, now that is just a kick to the gut when they're using your own $3 word against you. Oh my gosh, that is brutal. Lori, blackout drunk is not an insanity defense, but it can come into play when we're talking about whether or not you form the requisite intent for a crime. And usually it would end up under these circumstances, if they found that she was like, it was a party, whatever, she was drunk, other people said, you're drunk, whatever, you go upstairs and pass out, you wouldn't be able to form the intentional homicide. But I think she's just trying to use that here. And she literally, we were an hour in and she finally said, okay, now I'm just going to blame it on the wine. She didn't come in saying I was drunk, I passed out. If she would have come in and that was the consistent story the whole time, I think that plays a lot better for her, but it was not. Ice Gould. Seems like being disastrously disastrously narcissistic but illiterate and not rich equals the stupidest, and she thinks she is the smartest, maybe one of the most harmful ones to society. Whatever she's doing is not really working. She definitely thinks that she's smart and wants the detectives to think that she's smart, talking about the straight A's, but she's not handling this appropriately. And most people think, and a lot of smart people think they can outsmart cops. It really doesn't matter. You're not going to do it when you come in and try to handle it the way that she's
today too. To say that you guys are within your wits. There's two empty bottles of wine.
No, but we didn't drink both of them.
I think you did.
We didn't.
There's receipts for the same.
They were both purchased yesterday, so I don't know how you didn't, because they weren't there the day before.
Ooh, says, see, they've got receipts, literal receipts, because she said, oh, that one bottle we had already started from before. We didn't drink that yesterday yet. They have the receipt for the 2 bottles of wine that they bought yesterday. It's not good. It's not good for her.
Before.
So one was
2 Publix receipts from yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing purchased on either one was a single bottle of wine, 2 of them. So we have each bottle of wine that was empty in your garbage can that you purchased yesterday, or he purchased, but you 2 would have consumed together.
Okay, well, I
mean, there's receipts, so it's not even worth the going back.
So this is, so I don't know what you guys are, I don't know.
We were just hoping that we could figure out why you.
What was the motivation?
There was no motivation.
Wow.
But we're watching a video that, after talking to you, everything was laughing and fun. Now we're watching a video where it's not laughing and fun. He's begging for his life, and you are in a very angry voice telling him to fuck off.
No.
Yes,
Not.
that's absolutely what it was. It's not an assumption. The video's there. We played it for you.
So you guys think that I intentionally?
You did.
It
You got up
doesn't matter
off the couch
it doesn't
and
matter
walked
what
up
we
the couch,
think.
or walked up the stairs and got into bed. That was intentional. There's no way getting around that. You intentionally did that. Nobody drug you up there. You didn't float up damn stairs.
Okay, well, it's not fair. It's not fair that you guys keep trying to say that that's what I did.
I don't know what to tell you.
You told us that. You didn't go upstairs?
Mama to 5. Honestly, I totally get where you're coming from and understand it. I don't think that's why she's doing it. I think she's trying to work her way anyway to try to get out of this. And she's using anything she can to try to get out of it. But you may be right. You may be right. And I appreciate that perspective. CC Walters, I'm not sure if her fingerprints are on both bottles. I am not sure.
Again, there was a hole in a suitcase. I unzipped it from the hole with one finger.
Well, the damn hole didn't do him no good, did it?
But he could push it open.
No, he
Did
couldn't.
I
The video
No.
shows him pushing up.
And
If he could push it open, why wouldn't he have gotten out himself? Why would he beg you to open it?
I tell
okay.
you, he can't breathe.
Okay.
If
I-
someone
I-
can do something for themselves, they're going to do it. They don't need assistance unless they need assistance.
Oh, but why would he start doing it?
Because he couldn't, because it was all the way zipped.
Okay.
Exactly.
It wasn't. I intentionally didn't do it. That I intentionally did not do.
What's that? You didn't intentionally do what?
Zip it all the way. He nor I.
Well, he's dead as a result
Lay
of your
hands
action.
on each other.
He is dead as a result of
I
your
understand
action.
that. That's why this.
You two,
He is dead as a result of your actions. I understand that. That's literally what she said. So if she does take the stand, she's got to answer that same way or she's going to get impeached with this video. That's why this video is so damning. It can be used at trial. If she takes a stand, she will be impeached if she does not say exactly the same stuff. So sinking yourself right here is going to follow you no matter how many of these lies are truth or lies, right? What if it comes down that she actually left? She got so mad at him that she just left. Well, that's still going to make it look like everything she said was a lie because she said she went upstairs and went to bed. So if she left, does that change whether it's intentional, whether it's homicide, whatever? There's a lot of things that could happen that she's lying about that we don't know, that she is sinking her case based on making all of these statements.
we didn't lay hands on each other.
No. No. I don't have anything.
You're right.
He doesn't. Whatever that is, whatever it
He
is.
does.
See, this is what happens. It's not fair that you guys, just because he has those, automatically blame it on me. Like,
Well,
Where
what
else are
about
we gonna
when
go?
you had your injuries and he gets arrested? Is that not fair?
really? Like,
It's
really?
the exact
Yeah.
same thing.
Really?
He has injuries. You have injuries. Like, what does that mean?
I don't have any injuries.
Correct.
Because
So
he
nothing
and I
happens to
have
you.
not been at it with one another.
So every time that you guys fight, you both hit each other? So you should have probably
No.
gone to jail all those times that he went to jail
No.
for domestic?
Well, the one time I did. But he completely trashed.
Oof, man, she's just making all sorts of admissions. And sometimes when you start talking fast with them and ask a lot of questions and rapid fire like this cop is doing, I mean, she really starts going down the wrong road.
The police report. Because that's nothing what happened. Because the reason why I got taken in was because my story was different than his. So I'm being portrayed as like this abuser.
We're not saying that he doesn't abuse you.
Absolutely.
We're not saying.
So I'm the one that's being portrayed as the abuser.
Because he's
I have
Sure.
never dealt with anything like this before. I don't know what to do, how to do it, and I always know what to do and how to do it. This, I don't know. So I don't know, like, what's going on or, like,
We are simply trying to find out as well. Again, we got one side of the story. You're telling us, we're going with what you're saying, but then we find stuff that negates what you're telling us.
and I don't even remember doing that.
Okay. You're telling us that we're assuming stuff, but what we're simply doing is telling you what we saw in the video and
I
repeating what
understand.
you told us.
I understand, because I don't remember that.
Okay? Doesn't mean it didn't happen just because you don't remember it.
So is the texting thing something about me? Like, what's,
The what? Texting? Oh, no, I'm texting.
No,
you guys are scaring me.
Are you texting somebody about me? It's like, what? Like, lady, you're going to jail. We're here. Like, it's already over for you. We're going to handcuff you at the end of this conversation. Who I'm texting doesn't matter at all. Does not affect this at all. One bit. All right. We've got about 10 more minutes of the video before we stop for part 2. And then we'll save about 40 minutes for part 3 that we will do tomorrow, most likely tomorrow.
So, like, I don't know, like, what to expect. I mean, I had questions of things that needs to be taken care of. Like, I don't.
What are
I
your
mean-
questions?
I have one last question. You realize you're the person that killed him, right?
I thought about that.
Okay, you left him in a bag when he's begging you, saying, I can't breathe.
This is his way of trying to get him to get a confession out of her. You realize you killed him.
Let me out, and you said, fuck you. And you got up off the couch and went upstairs and left him in that bag.
Not intentionally.
Again,
I would never do that to George.
you did.
Not
It happened.
intentionally. Know that.
I don't.
Know that.
You got up and you went up to bed.
Alcohol is a shitty thing.
Now it's all alcohol.
It's alcohol.
So
Not,
alcohol
again,
is the reason that you killed him?
you all,
Please sit down.
listen to me.
Please sit down.
You all, listen. I did not intentionally kill him.
So your intention.
I don't know what it is I
to
need to
punish him?
do or how to do it or what to say or how to say it.
But what was your intention?
Everyone knows. Everyone knows. Everything that I've done for George and love
I thought nobody understood your relationship.
him and continuously helped him throughout his life with me and made him a happier, better person.
And everybody has their limits.
Everyone knows that.
Everybody has their limits.
So it's like, okay, so while we're in a good place right now, I'm going to snap. Is that what it, while we're in a good place right now?
You did.
Yes. Absolutely. I got you on video screaming, fuck you.
This is what it feels like.
That tone, she should know. I've got you on video screaming F you. It's like, he just said he's got you. You're done. Have you not figured that out yet?
When you're choking me This is what it feels like.
Which was however long ago.
You said
The
it.
video was from last night.
Clearly,
So it wasn't that,
yet.
yeah.
She's like, big deal. The choking was like from forever ago. It's like, you just said it last night.
there's still feelings towards it. You wouldn't say it if you didn't feel it,
But I would never do that.
but it happened, and you did.
But you
But
did.
that's after being playful
But no one's
and
laughing.
having a good day.
No one's laughing except you.
Everybody's
I would hate to see
having
a
a good
bad
day. Oh, I'm sorry?
I would hate to see a bad day.
Y'all are making me out to be a person that I'm not. Or will I ever be.
Or are you a different person when you're drunk?
People have different personalities after they consume alcohol.
It depends. Well,
Because you're sober now, so sober you.
Nice
Well, what about
person,
drunk
easy
you?
going.
not, it's both of us. It's both of us. And it's not fair that you all are assuming that the marks that he has on him are from me.
We asked you where they came from.
I have no idea.
They don't even need the marks to be from her to win this case. Cece, it doesn't nullify any defense. It just makes her impeachable, and the jury's going to have to decide what to believe. Barbara, it depends on the case. I would definitely reach out to a lawyer before you go and talk to law enforcement and just see if there's any reason you may need a lawyer. Nefertiti, I don't know if his name was George or Jorge, but she calls him George, so I guess I'll go with that. I mean, some people pronounce Jorge as George. I have heard that as well.
Yeah.
Well, nobody else was there, so nobody else was
I
there.
have no idea. I swear I did not lay a hand on him,
Okay. You just zipped them in the bag.
nor he.
You just zipped them in the bag. And then you flipped the bag around several times.
I didn't do that intentionally.
You didn't intentionally flip the bag around?
No, why would I do that?
Well, you
Good
told us
question,
you
you
did
did.
it.
When he was upside down.
Right.
Well, you had to put them upside down.
You can't get in a suitcase upside down
Yeah.
because
Oh my
what
gosh.
you put the
See,
stuff
and that's
in
the
is where his
unfortunate,
body was.
that's the unfortunate thing
Was upside
too, is
down.
nobody else was there. That's the
We have a
unfortunate
video
thing.
showing the suitcase in several different positions. So it shows, one, like she just said, it had to have been on its back with the lid open for him to get in there, for you to zip it up. Then it shows it on the other side with him in it, so you had to flip it to there. Then there's another video where it's on his back again, so you had to flip it
I'm
there.
leaving it like this, please. I'm leaving it like this. I did not intentionally do this. No malicious content or effort was towards this. No malicious.
I would
I'm
say
pointing
does
at the
that
video.
help you sleep, but you're not sleeping, so.
I mean,
Last night, I
The-
maybe got an hour.
Right.
in your voice, you can hear the maliciousness. The fuck you is very, very,
You don't talk to people
Obvious.
like that. That's not like a common, like,
Nope.
hey, Scott, fuck you.
Thank
That's not common. It's not something people do. And no one that sees that is gonna think that.
Okay.
So we were trying to give you an opportunity, and it is what it is.
There's no maliciousness towards
Okay.
that.
I would probably be telling myself that too
My
after that video.
intent
I'd be telling myself that too, she said. Yeah, it's not going well.
was not for that to happen.
But you went upstairs and went to bed. Or maybe you passed out, I don't know. whichever.
Waiting for him. And the whole time frame thing, it's like, it's
Regardless.
that's not really fair.
Regardless, waiting for him, it's not like you walked up the stairs. You can't fly up the stairs. No one can take you up the stairs.
Okay.
You go up the stairs, you lay in the bed, and you wait for him. Who cares if it's 5 minutes? Who cares if it's 30 freaking seconds? He's begging for his life. He's begging to get out. You go upstairs.
You leave them.
It doesn't matter. So get the time frame out of your mind. It
This
doesn't
whole
matter.
thing, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, because there's this, so it doesn't matter anything what it is I say. So it makes no difference whatsoever.
It's just you're lying, and like you're now changing
Who's
your
lying
story.
about what?
You're now you're drunk.
Oh, I never said that I was drunk.
Exactly.
Straight up, no, don't mince words. She literally says, now you're lying.
But you did hear today. That's okay.
You said earlier.
Everything recorded.
Alcohol.
You blamed it on the alcohol.
You blamed it on the alcohol. Alcohol does a lot to people.
Yes, but I never said I was drunk.
Okay.
Yes.
So you did this sober. You knowingly left him down there sober.
I have already told both of you also that we were both drinking.
Right. Okay. But you want to admit that you were drunk?
So there's this line between sober and drunk, that they were drinking. Usually drunk means you were impaired in some sort of way, your normal faculties were impaired, but she doesn't want to admit that because she realized she's already said she wasn't drunk. It's like she's really trying to weave this together, but the web is catching her.
I'm telling you all both, this has changed my life. I will take this. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a true statement.
Absolutely.
They're like,
You're
more ways
trying
than
to dance
you
around
know.
the fact that
So,
you
but what
did
are you,
leave
okay,
them there.
just
You left them in there. You did, trying to
Oh my
dance around the
gosh,
fact you left them in there.
this is not,
You didn't leave them in there?
it's not cool. Like, this is not cool.
It's not cool.
That it,
He's dead. It's
but
not.
Does she think the cops want to be cool with her? Like that, it's so weird.
you think that I did that intentionally. You think that I did that intentionally.
You intentionally left him in there and left the room. You went upstairs to a different room.
You intentionally did that?
You did.
Yes.
Because I'm thinking he's gonna get out.
Okay, and he didn't?
Obviously not.
When somebody's begging, saying, I
But
can't
when you
breathe.
say that though, but you have to, y'all
Please
don't,
let me out. I can't
y'all
breathe.
don't know George though. Like, again, I thought it was the boy crying wolf. So it's just like, what?
Oh, so if your son was in there and said, I can't breathe, are you gonna open it, or is he 9, so he's not, you know?
Really?
It's not a big deal. I'm just
Really?
question.
Yeah, it was a rude question, but you're also saying you love George, so you love your son, sure, more than George, whatever, but like you still love George, and you literally left him in there. You don't understand George. So what is she going to try to say? That George wanted to be in there? John, guilty or especially innocent, always get a lawyer. She's digging a hole, but I do think this case is already locked. What could her best argument be? Again, the big thing is going to be about intent, right? To see if she cannot get convicted of the second-degree murder. But I don't know what argument she could have, because we're hearing her literally dance through every argument she can think of in this 2 hours with these law enforcement officers. And none of them are really working. Now, maybe there's a way they can prove that the zipper was open enough before she opened it. And based on how or maybe even there was a little, the handle for the zipper. Maybe there was one in some suitcases have that inside the suitcase as well. Like they have it on the double side. Maybe there was something like that. If they can prove that there was actually a way that George could have exited the suitcase on his own and chose not to, or something happened unbeknownst to her that, knocked him out inside, and that's why he chose not to open it up, or whatever it may be, something like that, I think could make a difference in the case. Now, we're talking about and speculating like maybe there's evidence that we don't know about. That to me is what's going to have to happen in order for her to get away and make this an actual not guilty verdict.
Well, you said you would never put your son in a suitcase. You would only put George in there.
No, George got in the suitcase.
And you zipped it up.
Not all the way and not intentionally to leave him there.
But that's what happened. You keep going away from it.
I don't know.
That's exactly what happened. You went up to bed, woke up the next day.
Are you all trying to have me admit that? Like, are you trying to have me?
Yes, Sarah. Thanks for joining the conversation. They're literally trying to get you to confess and admit that you killed him.
Admit that, because I will never admit it, because it's not true. It's not true.
I'm basically stating as a fact because that's what happened.
Okay.
You videotaped him asking to be let out. You go upstairs.
So what, guys? So what? Like, just, I don't know what you want me to say, other than it was not out of maliciousness or intentional. I don't know what or how I can say it. I love George. Love him. To this day still. Love him.
Love makes you do crazy things.
It's not one of those things where it's like.
Cops are taking it a little far with that. Love makes you do crazy things.
Oh gosh, you know what? I've done enough for you at this point. I never gave up on him.
Okay.
Why I'm here today, I'm still not giving up on him. I would do anything for him.
Well, you gave up checking up on him, so.
Wouldn't let him out of a suitcase.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
This feels like a movie at this point. Like the cops are taking it a little too far, I think, but she's just keeps talking. She just keeps talking. She should stop at this point. But K-Rab, I definitely think she could convince a jury that it was not intentional. I think she could convince me that it was not intentional. I think watching these like lies and her dance is not good, and it's making me want to say, well, now I can't believe anything you say. But just proving that it was not intentional does not mean she's not guilty, because I would be willing to bet a lot of money that these lesser includeds are going to be included in this case.
We're simply just trying to go through. I mean, again, you gave us a completely different story that you churched up to. This was such a lasting matter.
It was fun.
Not by that
all
video.
day.
Not by that video. That
all
part
day.
wasn't. Anybody looking at it doesn't. I don't think anybody would look at that video and go, George is having fun right now.
So why is it you all think that y'all don't know me. You don't know me.
Nope.
Would do something like that, especially having a 9-year-old son.
I don't know.
Like,
having
why?
a 9-year-old son would be.
Like,
Why are you?
No, that's a good point, because I can't wrap my head around why she would want to do something like this. You don't want to throw your life away, but why? I think the answer is you hated him because he abused you. You were mad at him because he choked you or cheated on you or whatever you were saying in the video. I mean, I think that's why you do it. I also think you're probably irrational and not making good decisions, and maybe drinking had something to do with that as well. But I think that's a good question for her. Why would somebody normal and decent do this? They wouldn't, is the answer. But is that you?
Why are you so, like, caught on what we think?
Yeah.
When
because
you should be more concerned about what you've told us.
It's because
And
like you guys are like trying
the things that the video shows that are opposite of what you told us, and then what you've now
like
told
what
us
is opposite?
Well, you said that it was funny, and you're the only one laughing.
We were playing before that.
Okay.
But then it stops.
Yeah.
It obviously stops being fun.
Well,
because you're screaming at him. He's not going to get out.
Screaming at him.
Sounds like screaming at me.
I don't know what you all want me to tell you. In no way, shape, or form was this intentional. At all. Ever.
Okay. Are you still going to allow us to do your fingernails?
Go for it.
Go for it. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to get that set up.
And in case
Do you need any more water? No, but when you come back and I ask about this?
Yeah.
So, in case you don't remember, she agreed to let them take DNA from her fingernails. So that's what the cop's going to do now.
So what?
Just don't understand.
So what?
So
what are we doing
How
here?
your story changes so much to the
How
fact
is
that
it changing? Please help me explain, understand.
You went on about how this was such a playful thing and you guys were laughing, and it probably was for a few minutes, but then it obviously changes. The whole demeanor of this whole situation completely changes. It's not the funny.
Sharon, I don't know what the blood alcohol level is. I don't know if that information is public.
Laughing matter. He's not laughing at all.
I didn't think he was being serious.
You absolutely sound serious.
I
When you're
didn't think
answering
so.
them.
Like, just,
You don't think your voice, you sounded serious?
it's, okay. I don't know what you want me to tell you. It was a great day.
Okay.
It didn't end well, obviously.
I was going to say, that's, I mean.
I can't explain to you. I can't explain to you.
She thinks that, like, and this happens a lot of times, one of them will walk out and they can kind of play buddy-buddy with the other cop. And she's like, what do you want me to tell you? What do you want me to tell you? What do you want me to tell you? Because she wants to know what she needs to say to leave. Elise, why are so few hitting the like button? It is true on this Sarah Boone video series has a lot less likes than some of the other ones, like analytics-wise. So I don't know why. But if you guys want to, hit that like button. Let's change that trend on this video now. There's almost 4,000 people in here checking out this interrogation with us. So I appreciate everybody joining in here. We're almost done, but hit that like button now. House of Thrist. She stated her husband is George's son. Her husband is George's son. I don't know what that means.
How horrific it was
Okay,
to find him. Horrific. Because I don't remember taking those videos.
okay.
How horrific. I'm thinking he's in the bathroom. I'm thinking he's downstairs in the laptop.
Why? Why would you think
find
that?
him. So what's gonna happen? Like,
Here's what gets me though, is you don't remember taking videos, you don't know where he is, you don't remember him being in the suitcase, and you're still telling me that you had your wits about you. How does somebody have their wits about them when?
See, that's the
they
thing
have all
too,
this
but
stuff?
you can clearly tell that I had been drinking some. You can clearly tell.
Yep.
I had several people that came up to me in that apartment complex said that you were drunk on a daily basis.
Oh
and you
my
were screaming at
gosh,
him
right.
regularly.
She's like, oh, those people, they don't understand our relationship. They just don't understand it. Yeah, her son is not George's son. It is her ex-husband's son, who she also called the day that this all happened. Chris, thanks for using closed caption. I'm partially deaf and sometimes it's hard to hear. My nephew is fully deaf and one of my favorite people in the world. So I'm happy to use closed caption if it helps you. House of Virgo, why did she record it though? Now, to me, I would think you record it to play it back to show him and be like, look at how stupid you looked or whatever when you were in the suitcase. Like, to me, recording, I could be convinced that recording showed it was not intentional to kill him. I really could. Do you guys agree or disagree? Poraka, 3,700 people watching, 1.3K likes. This is the best channel for unbiased legal analysis. Thank you so much.
Right.
Really?
Right. Talk to the property manager. Talk to the property manager.
Okay.
Because it's not.
These are your neighbors, the one that live next to you. Your property manager does not live next to you. They see you every day. How many, you had two neighbors you went to and asked to go use the restroom.
See, that is just not fair.
No, hold on. You had two different neighbors that lived directly next to you. You asked to use the restroom and they told you no and turned you away. You had to go across the way to somebody else.
No, okay. Kim and Kim is not a nice person. Okay. She's just automatically not nice. Even after me and Lucas went over there and introduced ourselves, she's just not a nice person.
Then why would you think she would let you use a restroom?
Because Eli was in there. Eli comes over and talks to us sometimes, which I think pisses Kim off because he comes over and talks to us. The two of them.
Now we're getting the neighborhood drama here.
They're like super standoffish all the time. My neighbors down the street, down the way, their toilet was broken. They had stuff in the bathroom. So then they're like, go over there and try over there.
There's two bathrooms.
I wouldn't let somebody go upstairs and use my personal bathroom.
TGQ, it's kind of hard to get a timeline based on this interrogation, which is why we're kind of watching the whole thing. There's also, she meets and talks to the cops outside her house, which if you guys are interested, it seems like there's some decent interest in this case. So if anybody else is interested and wants to talk about that one as well, where she talks to the cops, we can do that too.
Bathroom? That's what the downstairs one is for.
If it's somebody you like, would you? Or somebody you knew?
They're in the process of doing all this stuff in the kitchen. And there's stuff in the bathroom and the toilet doesn't work. Just walk across the way. No problem. And of course they let me in. Them and them, they're together. They're families. And nonetheless, if you really want to know, and I hope it doesn't get them in trouble, but he is over here illegally. So he's trying to work on getting his free.
Oh, no. So last ditch effort, she tries to take somebody down with her by saying he's here illegally. I hope it doesn't get him in trouble, but I'm going to tell the cops something that I think he's doing that is illegal. And that's a shot she takes. That's brutal. That to me, I don't think the jury will ever hear that, but if I heard that as a juror, I would be like, oh, you're that kind of person. When it benefits you, you're really going to try to dig as deep and nasty as you can. And now you're sitting here asking all of us on the jury to give you the benefit of the doubt when this guy did nothing to you and the cop thinks he doesn't like you probably for legitimate reasons, and that's how you're going to throw something at him. That's miserable.
What does that got to do with you using the restroom?
They didn't want to be involved.
Should I use yours? You gotta use yours.
No, I was asking last night, because, you know, I mean, we had several different people in the
Assuming
neighborhood come
that
up saying
Eli
that
and
she was
Kim,
drunk on a regular basis.
Eli and Kim, okay. Did you ask Vinny next door?
Those are the ones next door that she asked to use the restroom, and they said no.
No, she said no.
Okay.
And like I said, she's not a
Yeah,
nice person.
They're coming. What are your questions?
Yep.
I can help you with.
Who's coming?
To do the fingernails.
Yeah, you said that we could.
And you don't have to allow us to do it, just so you know, so don't think that it's.
I don't have a problem.
Okay. Just make sure.
She's like, you know, I mean, you don't have to tell us if you're telling the truth. Like, the nonchalant is like prototypical how you're supposed to act as a cop to try to get this stuff. All right, I think that kind of feels like a good spot to pause it before they get into the questions, before we get the fingernail stuff. We have some comments about watching them all, which we will do. So yeah, I mean, this is interesting. We will watch through these and continue to get Sarah Boone's story. I appreciate all of you guys jumping on here. This was fun. It was a good break from hurricane cleanup. I was just gathering branches and stuff outside with my kids. They were playing in the huge puddles. So that was fun, but I'm glad we were able to do this. I'm glad we were able to get on here and talk. We will be doing another part tomorrow night. I'm driving down to Miami at some point tomorrow, so I don't know what time that'll be. New York mom, I don't think he got into the suitcase willingly. The medical examiner stated there are head wounds. I think she knocked him out and put him in there. That would be interesting and very difficult to me for her to do. I think it's plausible that like he got in there as a joke. I don't know though. I don't know. It's a good question. I have no idea. Pussycat, I believe no intent, but she obviously wanted to punish him for abuse, and she was definitely drunk, then ended up passing out. Why can't she just admit it? I mean, that's the best. To me, if this is what she would have come in and said at the police station, they probably could have worked out some plea deal where she did not go to prison for the rest of her life. I honestly believe that, especially if she's got some decent mitigating factors and she's a mom and all. I really, really think that if she would have just come in here and said all this stuff, exactly like Pussycat said, I think she could have worked out some deal that she could have lived with. Lisa Bakeman, welcome to the membership crew. And thank you, Anova. Timothy Murphy is a new member, long time, whatever. I think she is drunk and thinks she is way cooler than she is, and definitely way smarter and more convincing than she actually is, because she did not really convince anybody here, I don't think. Nobody in the chat is saying they're convinced of her innocence. So, okay, I appreciate you all. I'm going to take off now. Look forward to finishing this up with you tomorrow. On Saturday, we've got an Elizabeth Holmes update by Pete on the Theranos situation, on what's going on in that case. And then we got Daryl Brooks coming next week. So lots of stuff happening. Please take a second and follow us on Instagram and Twitter as well at Tragos Law, because we're doing some cool stuff on there and trying to grow our following base on there as well, so we can have more interaction. And we get a lot of content suggestions on there. So the more people that tell me they want to watch stuff and listen to stuff and send me videos and links on Instagram and Twitter is really helpful. So check that out at Tragos Law and hit that like button on the way out. Let's get it up to 3,000 likes here before you sign off. Appreciate y'all. Tom Farrell, I'm not positive about the time because I'm going to be driving to Miami, but I'm going to try to do it, in this like afternoonish time tomorrow from my hotel room. So you guys are the best. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow.